Hello, and welcome to this first edition of the Freedom of Mobility Forum live debate. My name is Cecilia Edwards, and I will be your moderator for today's event. The annual Freedom of Mobility Forum is designed to be a public place for debate that allows diverse expert contributors representing academia, public institutions, civil society, the youth, and the mobility industry to bring fact-based perspectives to the table to spark a dialogue on how to protect our collective freedom of mobility while simultaneously mitigating climate change. Each year, the forum will grapple with one aspect, one topic of this complex issue. This year's topic is, in a decarbonized world, will freedom of mobility be affordable to a happy few only? The discussion will be rich and fact-based. In order to allow you to digest all of the information that will be shared following today's debate, the forum will publish an executive summary of the discussion and the suggested actionable steps for stakeholders to implement in their respective disciplines. I'd like to quickly provide an overview of the three foundational tenets of the debate before introducing you to today's speakers. The debate will be fact-based, transparent, and respectful. The forum will rely on facts to drive insights and possible solutions. The debaters are free to bring their own unique perspectives. The attendance for the debate is open to all. Attendees will have an opportunity to ask questions of the debaters, and the discussion outcomes are made available to the greatest number of people. Debaters and attendees will engage in an honest, respectful, and collaborative manner. Now, our panel of debaters. For this first edition, we are honored to welcome 6 panelists from various regions across the world who will debate during these 2 hours. Each of them represents a stakeholder related to the theme of our debate. Let me introduce you to them. Måns Nilsson. Måns is the executive director at the Stockholm Environment Institute and professor of practice at the Royal Institute of Technology. In recent years, he has been closely involved in the development and implementation of the 2030 Agenda as an advisor to the UN, OECD, the European Commission, and the government of Sweden. Welcome, Måns. Yamina Sahib. Yamina is a lead author of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change World Group 3, Mitigation of Climate Change, 6th Assessment Report, published in 2022. She is currently a senior energy policy analyst at OpenX, a global network of independent experts developing solutions to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Welcome, Yamina. Ben Wells. Ben Wells is the Director of Integrated Transport and Innovation at the World Resources Institute Ross Center for Sustainable Cities. His work includes leading global research and projects, particularly in the areas of public transport, minibus services, mobility planning, access to opportunities, new mobility and innovation, traffic safety, walking and cycling, and public spaces. Welcome, Ben. Temi Salame. Temi is a climate education and communications professional. She is the founder and executive director of Eco Champions, one of Africa's largest networks of young environmentalists and activists, leading environmental change through climate education, leadership, and advocacy. She has spent the past 5 years leading a group of over 200 young environmentalists across Africa. Welcome, Temi. Davis Shaw. Davis is the CEO of Grassroots Trading Network for Women, an Indian NGO whose mission is to provide energy access, financial inclusion, and empowerment to poor women members of the Self-Employed Women's Association. Welcome, Davis. Carlos Tavares. Carlos is the Chief Executive Officer and Executive Director at Stellantis, a sustainable mobility tech company that is home to 14 vehicle brands and 2 mobility service arms. He focuses on Stellantis' objective to provide clean, safe, and affordable mobility while driving the company towards an ambitious carbon net zero target by 2038. Welcome, Carlos. Before we start our questions to the debaters, I would like to ground us in the key facts and figures that help shape the formulation of this year's question. In a decarbonized world, will freedom of mobility be affordable to a happy few only? First, the concept of decarbonization and the connection to mobility. Transportation is the second largest contributor to global greenhouse gas emissions, behind only the electricity and heat sector. It accounted for roughly 17% of all global greenhouse gas emissions in 2019 and has grown faster than any other end-use sector between 1990 and 2021. The demand for transport is expected to continue to grow across the world in the coming decades as the population increases and more people can afford cars, flights, and trains. So in order to comply with the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement goal to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of the century, it is estimated that there needs to be a minimum of a 3% annual reduction in total CO2 emissions from this fast-growing sector. Second, what do we mean by freedom of mobility? It is the ability and the means for individuals to get access to the people, the goods, services, and opportunities necessary to satisfy their required and their desired life needs. Access to infrastructure, vehicles, and public transport are all important parts of mobility. The over 1 billion people globally, for example, who according to the UN in 2021 did not have adequate access to an all-weather road would be among those who are facing their freedom of mobility challenge. In a different manner, those to whom borders are closed due to the type of passport they possess are equally challenged. Finally, a few facts regarding affordability for the happy few. People's capacity to travel is generally linked to income. As income increases, people become more mobile, and they make choices to spend more on carbon-intensive transport goods and services. According to the World Bank, those in higher income brackets can spend up to 3 times the amount of those in lower income brackets, 15% of their income versus 5%. In a different study cited by the UN, in some of the poorest parts of the world, even public transportation can be out of reach for some, costing as much as 20% of their income. So now that we've finished dissecting our question, let the debate begin. We will proceed with 3 rounds of questions. The first round will cover an understanding of the facts. The second will address challenges, and the third will touch on potential solutions. These 3 rounds will then be followed by questions from the audience. Please feel free to use the box on the right side of your screen to type your questions in at any point during the debate.